Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. Thanks to Alaska Public Media for having us, and thanks to our viewers for watching Hangar Flying. This evening, we are happy to have as our guest Kyle Moller. Kyle is a PhD student at Tulane University in New Orleans. He is also an intern with the Aviation Safety Program at the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health in Anchorage. Welcome to Hangar Flying, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
So can you get started by telling us a little bit about your background in aviation and what are you doing here in Anchorage?
Well, my background in aviation is fairly limited. I came up here as an intern in the Aviation Safety Program, but previously my experience is in environmental health. So while as an intern, I was put through ground school, and it kind of caught me up to speed with pilot lingo and just understanding the world of pilots. And I've gone out to several hubs to get to see what it's like out in bush flying Alaska. And so while I don't fly now, I think I have a good understanding of the operations here.
Did you get to take a flight and see exactly what types of flying they're doing?
I did, yes. I went out to Stevens Village and Beaver, I believe. And it was I didn't realize we would just land where I didn't see any buildings whatsoever. And so that opened my eyes, and four-wheelers met us, and it was a good experience.
Great, great. That's very typical in rural Alaska. So let's talk about some of the studies that you've been doing and what types of research you've been doing this summer.
Okay, yeah. So this summer I came in and a fatigue prevention program had already been implemented. So it's to train pilots on fatigue. And I've been developing the student training guide for that to hopefully supplement the training program. And so I've been doing that, and that's kind of a short-term project. I've done a longer-term project looking at oil and gas helicopters, so the helicopters that are servicing the oil and gas industry in the Gulf of Mexico. Building a database there looking at fatal and serious injury accidents. And the project that I'm here to talk to you about today is a mid-air collision project. So I don't know if I should go into depth on that now, or if you'd like to.
Tell us, what did you look at?
So we looked at just basically the mid-air collisions that have occurred since 1983 until 2014. So in 2011 there were three mid-air collisions, and that kind of got everybody thinking that they were on the rise. And so we thought we wanted to look and see if that was actually occurring, and we found that it's actually the opposite. They've been decreasing by 73% since 1983.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you looked at mid-air collisions just in Alaska?
Yes, just in Alaska. Well, so I did the research on the mid-air collisions in Alaska, and I compared my research to national data, but the national data only had the data over 1983 to 2000. So I then compared those two time periods.
And is Alaska significantly worse or better?
Well, so Alaska accounts for about 6% of the mid-air collisions and fatalities nationally over that time period, but Alaska only had about 2.5% of the airplanes flying. So it would appear that we're overrepresented up here.
And what other types of things did you look at, maybe to explain some of the reasons why we might be overrepresented?
Yeah, okay. So, well, first we wanted to look at the weather, see if that was a cause, and that wasn't. In 100% of the crashes, both nationally and in Alaska, they were all in VFR conditions. So then next we wanted to see if it was just possibly pilot experience that was an issue. That doesn't appear to be the cause either. So 65% of the pilots held at least a commercial airline or commercial certificate. So it was 35% commercial and 27% were ATP. And only 3.5% were student pilots who were involved in mid-air collisions here.
Wow.
Also, 74% of the pilots had greater than 1,000 hours of flying.
So we're not talking about real inexperienced pilots who are going out and are focusing just maybe on the instrument panel?
No, there were a few of those out there, it seems, but the least amount of hours were 26. But for the most part, it's your seasoned pilot out there.
Wow. So we are running out of time. This is really interesting, Kyle. We're running out of time, but we're going to have you back on the show, and we'll look forward to hearing more about your research on mid-air collisions and maybe get some recommendations. Thanks
Great.
for being with us, Kyle.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed learning about events and happenings in aviation in Alaska, please consider becoming a member of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation. Your support helps us bring you news and information. Ladies and gentlemen, please tune in to our next show when we talk to Kyle about the research that he's doing on mid-air collisions. Until next time, fly safely.